things just flow so much more easily. I'm here in Bali, and I feel different. There's something about the energy here on this island, the connection with nature, the sustainability, the culture. There's something about the energy here in Bali that inspires you to want to connect with your inner voice, to connect with your intuition. I feel so much peace when I say no to the things that don't light me up, when I say no to the things that don't excite me. The more I take on in my life, the more I feel like I'm drowning. Where in life are you distracted? Where are you saying yes when you really need to simplify? It's only through this reflection that we gain insight on what it is that will actually make us feel lighter in life. Whatever you are saying yes to, you're also saying no to something else. I used to find myself so distracted by noise, what other people were doing, what I needed to do, the shoulds. And as much as I believe that we live in an abundant universe, we also have a world of finite time in a given day. The things I had to do to please my peers, my parents. And when I decided to only listen to my own inner guidance system, to connect with my own intuition, and to trust in that, to follow that above all else, every other voice becoming secondary, that's when my life changed. That's when I started to trust myself more. That's when I started to have more courage, to take more risks, and to pursue a life that I know I'm proud of. Something that's honest and real and true and authentic to who I am. Leading from the heart instead of leading from the head. Bali is inspiring me to reflect on my life again, to simplify and to cut out the excess, things that are not working, the noise that's distracting me, and to go back to my heart. Life becomes so simple when we start honoring that inner guidance system, when we start prioritizing the wisdom from our inner voice above all else. That's when life gets really clear and really simple. You know what's fascinating? The best results I ever get in my life come from taking inspired action. So it's never some creation or work that was really hard to do, or it took a lot of planning or strategy or effort. It was just something that flowed. It was just an idea that popped out of my head, and I just did it quickly in the moment. And then that inspired action of spontaneity, just the results were 10 times better than what I would do in the past, which is the strategy and the planning and the stages. And if I do this, then I can do this. It's no more of that linear effort, but rather the action arises from this magical, mystical spontaneity. It's fascinating because my life feels easier. It feels more natural. It doesn't feel like force. I make a video when I'm inspired by something, and creative inspiration, it just flows. It's just natural. I don't force myself anymore. And that also means I don't force myself to make videos if I'm not inspired to make a video. I ended up closing my Patreon, and I had a Patreon to keep me going, to keep me accountable, to keep me emotionally and financially comfortable in order to keep doing YouTube. But I just feel like I'm entering a different phase of my life where I'm just allowing spontaneity to guide me, and I'm not focusing on any kind of structure or weekly schedule or any of that. I'm just throwing that out the window, and I'm just doing what feels fun and what feels exciting and what feels energizing and what feels magical, you know? It's so wild to see how the more I trust in life, the more I trust that things are going to work out, the more I trust in God and source and life, and I trust that the path before me will be cleared and will be available when I need it to be, when it's meant to be. Things just flows so much more easily. The timing is better. Just everything is so much easier. And so I want to leave you off with that today. What if it could all be this easy? What if life could be this easy? Not what if it is easy, but what if it could be? What if it could be this simple of trusting your inner voice and trusting your inner guidance system and not deviating from that trust, that anchored, rooted place of your inner voice, your intuition? And every step of the way, even when fear arises, even when you feel worried or afraid or scarcity mindset, all of those things, what if you went back to the breath? You notice the thought, I'm noticing that I'm getting worried about this. And then going back to that anchored state of, I'm trusting. This is what I'm doing. I am trusting myself and I'm trusting life and I'm putting my trust in something else. I'm putting my trust in something greater, something unknown, something mysterious, and I'm surrendering to that. That is magnetic. Getting back into alignment means getting back in connection with yourself, getting back in connection with life, with source, with energy, with this essence of life, with getting reconnected back to you and who you are, and not the ego version of who you are, but the soul version of who you are, your inner voice, your intuition that's always guiding you. So just trusting that, flowing and trusting with that energy of, I know there's something else out there for me. I know that this is a bump in the road, but I'm trusting that it's going to work out in the end. I know that this is something I'm worried about right now in my life, but I'm trusting that there's something on the other side, and I don't know what that is exactly, and I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I know that there's something there for me. All I have to do is follow the spontaneous, natural breadcrumbs that are leading me the way. And I don't need to know what's around the corner. I just need to be here now and focus on that one next thing and see what spontaneously arises from that excitement, and just follow that. Just do that one thing that arises. And when you're consistent with that and when you flow with that, over time you start to look back at your path, at your journey, and you see you've built this entire pathway. That's living from this easy place, this natural place of following your excitements and doing what feels wonderful. Wonderful. I love that word, wonderful. It could be that easy. It could be that simple. Life can be this simple. But the only thing stopping you from connecting with that is yourself. The only thing that's stopping us is not allowing ourselves to trust ourselves and to trust our inner voice, to trust the mystery of life. Because there's so many unknowns, right? There's so many unknowns with this life experience, but are you willing to surrender that? Are you willing to let go of that control and just be here now and focus on this next step in front of me? I'm sharing all this with you today because I don't know exactly where my life is going. And I shared this on Patreon, my last video on Patreon. I shared my vulnerable heart with you guys over there about how, like, I'm in a limbo state right now of, I don't know exactly where I'm going with my life, but there's something coming and there's something magical on the horizon. And I have no idea what that is. I have no idea. I'm kind of in this state right now of, like, not truly having a clear action plan or not knowing exactly where I'm going, but there's something there. And so it's as simple as flowing with the wind and the leaves and trusting that life is supporting you. And anytime I feel doubt, anytime I'm afraid, I get my journal out and I write to God. I write to Source. I say, God, tell me what I need to know right now. God, show me the way. God, how can this all be easier for me? Universe, tell me what it is I need to know to allow myself to come back home to myself, my authentic self. Not my highest self, not my best self, my authentic self. What does my most authentic self need to know right now? Allow yourself to be led. Allow yourself to surrender and just trust that what's coming is meant to be for you. So that's just a little spontaneous message from me, from Bali. I feel inspired to talk about these things that I'm writing about in my journal. Just writing these ideas, writing scripts in my journal, and I'm just gonna record them. And it's not gonna be perfect. My videos are not gonna be beautifully curated or gorgeous as maybe they used to be. I just want them to be real, and I want them to be easy. And I feel like a lot of the videos I've made in the past were not easy to make. And so I'm flowing with that, and I'm staying in that truth and that connection with self. So I hope this inspires you to follow your own inner guidance system and to trust the path you're on, even when you're unsure of what that next step is. So I hope you enjoyed this little life update from Bali. I hope this little spontaneous message flowed through at the right time for you. And I'm sending you such a big hug, and I hope you have a magical day, and I'll see you next time here on the channel. Bye.